Hello, no better, maybe too much. It's the new mic, so let me see. It's no better for YouTube. Just give me a sign. Because there was Setlan just said right now no sound, so just verify that you can hear me now. Nobody confirming? Oh, now it's okay. Perfect. Okay, let us go to the first question. Ari is asking, Inspo is the MM, so the market maker, accumulating. Will that accumulation be the best signal of the bottom? First of all, that's what I do every day with my daily analysis. That's what I do every day. I check him because, yeah, loud and clear. Okay. Yeah, it's the new mic. We need to reduce the volume then. That's Ari. Yes, he would be I would say the biggest confirmation that the bottom is in, because I have checked and tracked a little bit his trade behavior. Last year I did in detail a very nice analysis about every entity. And he was without any doubt the best one indicating he's an insider. He knows a lot of information. We remember maybe last year when we checked that, we need to zoom out a little bit. Well, if we check, that's the Bitcoin market price, right? And we remember all these three fake rallies, right? You remember all? Well, the market maker was clearly in distribution, and close before they started this kind of fake rallies, they accumulated quick to dump afterwards. And the most interesting thing is, for example, this one here, I remember very well. It was initiated by Janet Yellen. She was making a very unprofessional comment to the media, mentioning that they are planning to bring 80% tax rate to crypto gains. And afterwards, a big sell-off happened. That's crazy, because these guys here, I don't know how, but they knew about that, it seems, because they accumulated. If we check now what they did, you can see that here. So let me make a little circle here as well. And I'm talking, let me see. I'm talking about this fake rally here. And look how accurate they bought to sell afterwards. And that was the only entity, the only one that was trading very accurate every single fake rally. Every single one. That's a clear indication that these guys are institutionals, well networked, advantage, information. Yeah. And if we check, for example, last year in summer, and we remember that was the Bitcoin price, we dumped, and they started here to accumulate. That was a very common strong hands absorbed from weak hands, and afterwards they started to accumulate. That's what they did. We can see that here as well. You can see that very clearly. If you check now the development afterwards, after this accumulation, they started to create fake rallies. Well, they also used, for example, the bull run afterwards, after July 21st, just to distribute, to buy again, to distribute, but they didn't accumulate anymore. It wasn't, I had certain chats with George Wegwitz about that because he was very interesting to know who is driving the market. And I said, the most important thing in this market is that this actor starts to accumulate. When they start to accumulate, you know that these guys are going to initiate a bull run. The problem is something changed since last year. Since China mainland crypto ban, mining ban in China, spot ETF rejection, and so on and so forth. So something crucial changed. And since then, they didn't accumulate big anymore. Instead, it was from trend much more distribution, quick accumulation. So make a quick profit operations, for example. As you see, it's much more sideway run. And since I would say let me check. I mean, they distributed here in February very hard. All right. So they bought here, they distributed from here. That was October 21st. If you check October 21st in your chart, you will see how accurate that was. Because that was when Bitcoin did its new all-time high. And then afterwards, it dumped very hard. And that was the big correction. They initiated this big correction. Afterwards, they started to accumulate again to dump afterwards. And they started to distribute, to push the price down, 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 accumulated quick, to afterwards do exactly the same. And that's what they are doing. Extremely accurate, best trade behavior. If you check all other entities, the only entities they are also very good are those guys here, but not that accurate. Absolutely not. Every other entity, it's pure. They sell the bottom, buy the tops, and so on and so forth. So you don't see any special institutional stamp behind or whatever, but entities are the main players here. And no, they are not accumulating, not at all. They are still playing. They reduce their balances the first time since 2020 to 4,920,000. And well, what should I say? They lifted up in balances, indicating they bought, or it's at least they rises their balances. We know that these guys use, for example, Bitcoin derivatives to, it seems, generate more Bitcoins, and they dump afterwards with these Bitcoins. What is the goal behind? I don't know, but it seems it's a strategy. It seems they have a strategy, they have a goal, and well, they are still working on it. That's what I see, at least, but they are not accumulating. And these guys, when they start to accumulate, they initiate fake rallies all the time. While they are using these fake rallies, they use every dip to buy more. It's not happening. So Ari, to make the whole story a little bit shorter, yes, for me it would be the signal the bottom is in. In my opinion, the bottom is not in. Not only because of these guys, but yes, that's a big part of it. Alin Sorim Podaru. Wow, what a name, bro. Hi Inspo, what's your opinion about all BUSD printing? All week I saw 40 millions, 120 millions, 80 millions, etc. They printed some millions every day, in total more than 500 millions, he said. Try to buy the dip. Well, I'm not sure if he is going to buy the dip, and to be honest, I don't know. I didn't check that. Let us go to to CoinMarketCap, because that's the best way how to check that, in my opinion at least. Let us go to the ranking, and BUSD should be here. Now let us see market cap for the last 3 months, and yeah, that looks big. That looks very big, from 1764 to well, 1.2 billions. It's not that bad. It's really interesting because, well, I think I have an explanation for it, without to go too much in detail, Alan. Because, as I have tweeted recently, it seems that they are trying to avoid Tether. So Tether market cap is declining, while, for example, USDC is lifting up, and it seems also BUSD. It would make sense because BUSD, who is providing any BUSD pair? What exchange? The only one, Binance. So I have also mentioned that the pair distribution is changing. So they are trying to use less USDT pairs and now bringing more USDC pairs. And it seems even if the BUSD pairs decline, but it seems at least not that much like USDT, but it seems that, and it makes sense in my opinion, Binance wants to use more BUSD pairs instead of USDC, because as I know, Binance is not using USDC at all. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but so it would make sense if they are really trying to push a little bit, at least to reduce the market cap of Tether, and to avoid more USDT pairs. You need an alternative. For Binance, it makes more sense to use BUSD. It's the exchange own stablecoin provided by Paxos, so it's absolutely fine. Also related to regulation, Paxos, in my opinion, one of the best stablecoins in transparency and quality. Just because, for example, just in the last, I don't remember, it's 4 weeks ago or something, they provided in a very voluntary way a full audit. Something that we are still waiting related to Tether since years. And they are telling us we will have a full audit in the next few months. So, yeah. And USDC, in my opinion, it's the exchange-owned stablecoin by Coinbase. And one big problem in the regulation, in my opinion, is going to be future trading. The European regulators have started to limit it, just because of the leverage effect, to limited futures. And surprise, surprise, Coinbase don't have any kind of derivative business. So it's not going to be any big issue for them. It makes sense. I'm at the moment, as many of you know, I'm using BitGet. And BitGet, for example, is using USDC and USDT. And I'm trading futures based on USDC. And it's cool. It's good, to be honest. So, yeah, that's about stablecoin and why I think it makes sense that Binance, it seems, is generating more BUSD. So next one, Joker. My hypothesis is institutional lost interest in Bitcoin. They are expecting after a few years the next bull cycle will be altcoins with real world utility. That's a hard statement, but I agree. I full agree. And I mean, it's just to make such a statement without to give or provide more information about that sounds like a bit like, we would be Bitcoin haters. Just to be honest, Inspos is a full altcoin trader and yeah, passionate also for altcoins, just based on business case, utility, as you are mentioning, because yeah, Bitcoin is a currency. Okay, fine, but okay, that's it. I mean, the World Economic Forum is pushing forward to let us appear POW. Okay? Bitcoin without doesn't make any sense. Absolutely no sense. But the World Economic Forum is a central of power, a central of global power. To be honest, it's a matter of time. It's really a matter of time. They just will have two options: to transform Bitcoin or Bitcoin 2.0 or whatever to to pause and to forget POW, or I don't know. I mean, I'm not, it's crazy to say that, but I can even expect a full ban of Bitcoin then. The European regulator mentioned that several times. They want to ban Bitcoin. They want to ban every kind of crypto asset that is still based on POW. If it makes sense or not, we can discuss about that, and every of us can have his own opinion about that. I think we will agree that it doesn't make sense. And we will also agree that the energy that Bitcoin mining is using, it's not that huge that, that could initiate such a political campaign, because it's full just political, in my opinion. That's my personal opinion. And Bitcoin without POW doesn't make any sense. But if they want really to push in that direction, only two options. And in my opinion, Joker, you are absolutely correct in that statement, because I also think that institutionals, even based on the last Genesis report, the institutional demand for Bitcoin lifted up. Not that much. They had almost 45% in 2021. That was in Q2 2021. And we are now at 25 or almost 30%. So still 15% less than last year. And that's big. That's really big. And I also think that in short term, maybe institutional demand can come back, but just to make a little profit. And that's it. If the whole POW discussion doesn't change, I think many institutionals will jump out. And maybe what we are seeing at the moment is part of it. But that's pure speculation theory, because we don't have any proof. But if you check World Economic Forum, you can check Bitcoin POW and POS, and you will see that they are demanding a transformation even of the Bitcoin code to POS. And that's usually not a very good sign, to be honest. However, Ethereum demand by institutionals crashed, even since Q1 2022. It really crashed, maybe because of the merge, I don't know, but I also know that institutionals are much more bullish on Ethereum than, at least on the blockchain technology, than on Bitcoin. Maybe that will change. What I missed in the last Genesis report, for example, they in Q1 2022, you can check that on their page. I would recommend any of you just to check their page, because Genesis is the biggest crypto OTC. And they are operating for institutionals. They have insider information, and they provide this kind of insider information and their quarterly reports. In Q1 2022 report, they even mentioned certain altcoins where the institutional demand is coming. For example, Atom. And that's really funny because I like Atom. I'm a fan of Atom. I like the technology, I like the community. I think the adoption of Atom is extremely great and can even support the mass adoption afterwards. But if you check Atom, just compare the Atom chart with the Bitcoin chart. Many altcoins don't follow Bitcoin. Atom is one of them. It's really funny. Just check that. Okay, so next one. Hi, bro. Regards from CL, Chile? Question? Big love, Jorge. Aurelio, wow, Rainero Holgado, buenas noches Inspo, veremos a BTC en 17k o menos tras la venta de los BTC de MTGOX, gracias y saludos cordiales de España, amigo. Hola Aurelio. Well, first of all, I will try to translate your question so that everyone can get your question. He is asking if Bitcoin can even dump more, hitting, for example, 70k just based on the empty GOGS sell-off that many are expecting. That's a thing nobody knows. Nobody can say that because nobody knows what kind of agreement they have. Usually when you have such volume related, you will have also some institutionals interested to buy all this, for example, okay, based on an agreement, usually. So I really don't know. I know that one of my followers is a former MTGOX client, and he is part of the refund. And he told me that it's not clear what's going to happen. It's absolutely not clear. If they maintain the price that down at that level, bringing more fear to the market, I think they will sell the Bitcoins. I think they will. Some of them, of course, not. But the most of them, yes. And that could bring the price to 70k and even lower. I just translate this shortly in English because I don't know if Aurelio speaks English. Aurelio, yo creo que todavía no sabemos muy bien lo que va a hacer MTGOX, ¿vale? Todavía no sabemos si hay un acuerdo, por ejemplo, con institucionales, un hedge fund, que les daría dinero fiat en vez y se les compraría los Bitcoin. Es algo que no sabemos. Yo tengo un seguidor que era cliente de MTGOX y va a recibir sus Bitcoins, por ejemplo, y él me dijo de que no había ninguna claridad de la distribución de los Bitcoins todavía. O sea, una cosa está clara, que si mantienen el precio tan bajo como los tienen ahora, a esos 25 y abajo, y empiezan a generar más miedo, pues esta gente que posiblemente en vez de recibir el dinero reciben los Bitcoin, pues van a vender. Posiblemente esto sea una parte de la estrategia y por eso el mercado pues esté haciendo lo que está haciendo. Es muy posible, sí. Un saludo a España. Eric, Inspo, also in Spanish. Okay, wow. Inspo, si el futuro está en los alts, ¿es posible que ahora las instituciones estén acumulando ETH y otra en vez de Bitcoin? ¿Podrías mirar eso? Eric is just asking if just based on the theory that institutionals are hitting more to altcoins than to Bitcoins, for example. And he is asking if institutionals, for example, are much more accumulating ETH instead of Bitcoin, if we can detect that and if I can do that. Well, first of all, I did that. Te lo tengo que explicar también en inglés para que toda la gente también sepa un poco de lo que se trata. I will show you how the centralized exchange reserves based on Ethereum looks like. And then it's obvious and you can make your own conclusion if these guys are accumulating. We had here 34 million of Ethereum. We have now 22. 12 million Ethereum less on centralized exchanges. That's 33%. That's big. That's really big. So, and that, I mean, they are buying all the time. I have mentioned many times already. The Bank of England, for example, did some comments about that. They said that they are very bullish on Ethereum, for example. The European Investment Bank in Luxembourg, that's a government-based institutional from the European Union. Their recent crypto project, they are just building an application based on crypto blockchain on Ethereum, not Bitcoin, for example, or any other. So I really think that, yes, that institutional demand for Ethereum or for altcoins could be bigger. We also know the whole story about ISO 222, where Ripple, so XRP, where Quant, for example, where several other altcoins are part of it. What is ISO 222? That's the new global digital transaction standard for the financial sector. I know from my former client that they have, based on the German regulation BaFin, they have to adapt and they have to implement ISO 222 next year. Mass adoption. So just to say, that's why for me it doesn't matter. I mean, of course it matters, and it's pain in the ass to see what the crypto market is doing and so on and so forth, but I'm a long-term crypto believer. I know that crypto is going to be part of our future, is going to be part of the transformation of the economy that we are at the moment in the first beginning phase. Ahora, Eric, te lo explico un momento porque no sé si hablas el inglés o lo entiendes, por lo tanto te lo explico un momento en español. Pues sí, es muy posible. El Banco de Inglaterra, por ejemplo, el año pasado hizo comentarios que eran bastante bullish hacia Ethereum. Yo personalmente también sé de que el Banco de Inversión en Europa, de la Unión Europea, que está en Luxemburgo, está construyendo un proyecto a base del blockchain Ethereum. Y también sé que la Unión Europea es bastante más bullish en Ethereum que en Bitcoin, así como se ha visto en algunos comentarios de la regulación europea diciendo que les gustaría prohibir Bitcoin, por ejemplo. De Ethereum nunca se ha hablado. Yo jamás he pillado algún anuncio, comentario oficial de la Unión Europea diciendo de que ellos les gustaría prohibir Ethereum. Nunca lo he escuchado. Y después tenemos la otra parte. Cuando hablamos de altcoins, está el estándar nuevo de Global Payments, Digital Payments, que es el ISO 222, que es una gran competencia al proyecto de SWIFT, el nuevo proyecto de SWIFT, que también dicen que quieren hacer un estándar para las transacciones digitales globales. Pero el ISO 222, por ejemplo, pues ¿quién está certificado? Ripple, XRP, por ejemplo. ¿Quién más? Pues Quant, QNT y otros más. Yo sé por mi cliente, bueno, tú sabes, o calculo que muchos de vosotros sabéis que yo soy consejero del sector financiero, y uno de mis clientes ya me dijo de que ellos tienen no sé cómo le dicen en español, tienen que adaptar el ISO 222 para el año que viene. Y eso suena mucho a mass adoption, mucho. Okay, so back. Oh, I see so many Spanish questions, guys. That's. I mean, I like that, but it's a little bit pain when mainly many people in English will watch this video. ¿Ves el mercado en 11K o en 29 a corto plazo, Inspo? Un saludo. He is asking if I think the market will go more to 11K or 29K in short term. And that's really hard. That's really hard to respond. That's really hard. It depends how the market will react in the next few weeks. We will have on equities a correction. They will say it's a correction. In my opinion, we are still in a bear market. I don't think that's a bull market. I don't care about Jim Cramer, and I don't care what kind of narratives the Wall Street will sell us. I really don't care. Just taking into account what the whole global economy is looking like, we are hitting a recession. That's for me absolutely clear. And I think everything what we have seen yet was just a foretaste of what's going to happen. Is that going to happen this year? No, I don't think so. Is that going to happen 2023? Yes, and the second part of 2023. I think the first part of 2023 could be even bullish, because that's what markets do before they crash. I think the second half of 2023 will be the big initiation for what I would say down only. In 2024, in my opinion, it's going to be hell. Very ugly year, in my opinion. But many, even bankers, are expecting that. And if we take a look to the banks' books, for example, they are still full. They didn't really distribute yet. They missed that. They really missed that. They thought COVID crash, that was just for them an opportunity to distribute and buy the dips and go on, business as usual. But I don't know why they missed that, to be honest. But they missed that. I know that. I really know that. In case the market will crash next month, I mean, that's crazy what I'm going to say, and that's only my opinion. I would say 80% of all federal banks will go down. And that's what I think. So I don't think that the governments will allow that. And that's why they will try everything possible to maintain a relatively bullish sentiment. Don't meaning we are going to make bull runs. Not, or at least not new all-time highs. At least on equities. I don't know on crypto, to be honest. But on equities, I really have big doubts. And I think maybe in the first part and the first half of 2023. That's my opinion. Pues, Flameado, sinceramente es muy difícil responderte en corto plazo si va a ir a 11K o va a ir a 29K. Porque el mercado ahora mismo estamos en circunstancias muy, muy, muy diferentes a las que hemos vivido en el pasado. Y ya sé que hay gente que dice, no, pero si se repite, si esto... No se repite. Estamos en totalmente otra fase. Yo creo que el 2022 va a ser un mercado bastante, pues lo que hemos visto, pump y dump para distribución, porque ellos tienen los libros totalmente llenos todavía. Yo te lo puedo decir que la mayoría de los bancos federales no han vendido casi nada, tienen los libros totalmente llenos. Por lo tanto, tener un crash, por ejemplo, este año, y como nosotros sabemos, el Bitcoin lo único que hace es seguir SPI, por ejemplo, si SPI tuviera un crash, Bitcoin le seguiría. Por lo tanto, 11. Y mira, que no te digo que no sea posible, pero de momento lo dudo, de verdad lo dudo. Y mira que yo lo tengo bastante claro que 11 va a venir, pero no sé si va a pasar este año. Por lo tanto, es mucho más fácil levantarlo a 29. O sea, si me preguntas corto plazo, te diría más 29 que 11, para ponértelo claro. Pero va a ser un proceso. Y los 29 pueden pasar en las próximas semanas, hasta los 11 va a ser muy difícil, porque los intereses de las bolsas, por ejemplo, no es permitir de que el precio baje a 11. O sea, si lo quieren hacer, van a necesitar mucho volumen para bajar el precio. Y nosotros sabemos que entraron 3.600 millones de dólares en stablecoins a derivados. No sabemos si le van a meter largo o cortos. Pero si le meten cortos, sí que podrían alcanzar los 11.000. Es muy difícil, flameado. La verdad, muy difícil. Otra respuesta no te puedo dar. Por cierto, creo que tendrías más suscripciones y visitas en español que en inglés. Yo ya he hecho varias sesiones en español y sé que sí hay, pero no es verdad. No es verdad, porque el mercado en inglés es muchísimo más grande. Te lo digo sinceramente. Si tuviera más tiempo, ofrecería también una parte en castellano, en español, como lo he hecho en el pasado. Así también lo he hecho en alemán, pero es que no tengo el tiempo. Okay, that's it in Spanish. Cyprian Apetray, do you think the XY will go higher even if inflation is declining? Yes. Very clear. Yes. Yes. Even if inflation is declining? What does that mean? I mean, declining to what? To 2%? When? Not this year. Absolutely not. Just because the whole inflation is mainly driven by energy and food at the moment. And energy declined. And that's the bullish effect for inflation, because that's why inflation is stabilizing and even declining a little bit. But as soon as the demand starts to lift up again, and in my opinion, crude oil, because they just raised the production for just, as I know, 2 months now. But Saudi Arabia and OPEC Plus, that was much more a compromise. I don't think that these guys are going to do that all the way for the next years or month. Inflation is not going to decline from 1 month to the other. I mean, even the inflation that we have reached now was a process of almost, I would say, 1 year now. So inflation is not going to disappear from one day to another. And crude oil will not only go down, it will go up. And I would expect again a price above of $100 per barrel in the next few weeks, or even maybe in the next few months. Means the pressure to inflation will rise again, while we didn't fix the supply chain and disruption, the global one, and taking into account what's happening right now based on geopolitical situation with Taiwan, China, and so on and so forth, I don't think we will fix that. To be honest, inflation is here to stay. Inflation is not going to go anywhere. The only thing what can happen is the consumed behavior. If that change, that can have a positive effect to inflation, but a very negative effect for the economy. Because that's what Japan had over decades. They had a deflation. What means deflation? Well, that's the opposite of inflation. Means the consumer don't want to spend their money, even if the prices are declining. That's why the Japan government was giving away money to its citizens just to motivate them to consume. It sounds incredible, but it happened. So that's why, in general, central banks wants to maintain the 2%. The 2% is just to avoid the possibility that the monetary system shifts to a deflation. That's the 2% key level. That's why always any central banker in Europe or in the USA always say we need the 2%. It's going to be a big challenge, and their tools to decline the inflation, it's extremely limited. In the European Union, so for the European Central Bank, much more than for the Fed, much more, just because of the whole structure problems we have in the European Union with different members and with different economy conditions. Like Italy, for example, I have mentioned that, for example, the German government is selling German government bonds to buy Italian government bonds, because they know if they are not going to do that while the ECB is raising interest rates, Italy would collapse. And Italy is one of the big players here in Europe. So, in my opinion, inflation is not going to decline. If it starts to decline, then only just because the consumer behavior is changing, is flipping, and that usually happens because of fear, because the economy is shrinking, means unemployment. And even if politicals, and that's also something I have mentioned several times, political, one thing they love to use is labor market statistics. But only just because to have full employment doesn't mean that's extremely bullish. Because it depends what their real salary is at the end of the month for these workers and for these jobs. If that's always low budget jobs with 1 year contracts, for example, it will not bring anything to the economy, because these people will try to avoid to buy big things and so on and so forth. Even we have seen in Spain, for example, they did that. And we also know what happened with the mortgage crisis in Spain afterwards. So in my opinion, inflation is here to stay. Maybe we will go down to 8%, 7%. Okay, but we will go up again. I don't think we will fix that anymore. That's it. Only just to be just to make it clear, only if the whole situation starts to change. And I don't mean the situation in the US or the situation in Europe, the global situation. And I think we are far away to fix all these global problems. So, no. Okay, I would say it's now 48 minutes, guys. I would like to stop. So I would take now into account the last two questions, one and then another one in English from Francisco Hernandez. I would just make a little quick response then. ¿Crees que los BTC de van a tener impacto? Te lo pregunto porque en derivados mueven mucho más volumen que el spot. La manipulación parece brutal. Okay, he is asking if the Bitcoin of MTGOX will have any impact. And I don't know now the second sentence, because I don't know if it makes sense. He is asking because the derivative market has more volume. Okay, I got it. Okay, he is just saying, even if MTGOX is going to have a sell-off and they are going to sell all their Bitcoins, while, for example, Bitcoin on derivatives would go longs instead? Well, first of all, derivative and spot are two different markets. The spot is the original one. You can't just go long, while spot has a sell off and the price goes up. It's not possible. It's absolutely not possible. That's why I say it needs its support of spot. If you check, for example, how derivative exchanges are calculating the current Bitcoin price, that's a formula. But the original price of Bitcoin is the spot price. It's not the derivative one, just to make it clear. So if MTGOX is going to have a sell-off, you will have a lot of shorts afterwards as well. And that's how it works. So it's not possible to have a mass of longs and at the same time a sell-off on spot. Then even the derivative price will go down. And just to make it clear, you can hold, for example, the price, just longing, while also stabilizing the price on spot. That's possible. What you can't do is to drive the spot market by futures. That's not possible. That's absolutely not possible. Francisco Hernández, te lo explico. Derivativos y spots son totalmente dos mercados diferentes. El derivativo utiliza el precio original, que es el de spot. Tú no puedes meterle largo y subir el precio de Bitcoin solamente con futuros. No es posible. O sea, tú siempre necesitas un soporte por spot. Siempre. Por lo tanto, si tú te fijas y si tienes interés, pásame un DM y yo te paso la fórmula. Hay una fórmula en derivativos que consiste en el precio original del spot de Bitcoin para introducir un precio en derivativos. O sea, el precio de Bitcoin per, por ejemplo. O sea, no es posible solo meterle cortos, billones y billones en cortos, mientras tanto comprar. No es posible. ¿Vale? O sea, el precio... habría entonces para arbitraje, tendríamos un gap de precio, eso sí, que no sería tan inmenso, pero naturalmente hay un mecanismo que no permite eso. O sea, no sería posible. Y sí, tú tienes razón, el volumen de derivativos es mucho más alto que es un 60%. Y spot solo es un 33%. O sea, es muchísimo más alto. Pero así todo, el precio original, el precio clave de Bitcoin, el original, digamos, el único, es el de spot. El derivativo no puede desarrollar el precio de Bitcoin. Es imposible. Por eso yo siempre digo, apoyan. O sea, si ellos quieren presionar el precio y darle cortos, ellos al mismo tiempo tienen que vender spot. Lo tienen, aunque no sea con gran volumen, pero lo tienen que apoyar. Si no, no es posible. So, that's it. And the last, Purple Haze Hat. Inspo. Oh, Jesus, now in German. What's going on here? Nein, ich trade kein Gas. Nein, tue ich nicht. Momentan nicht. Wenn, dann Erdöl. Das wäre das Einzige. Aber nein, kein Gas. Derzeit zumindest nicht. He is just asking me if I'm trading gas, for example. No, I'm not doing it. I'm just... The only thing I will is to trade crude oil, because I think we will have a big bull run on crude oil in the next few weeks or even month, just based on geopolitical conditions. Hammer of Petra, please make a comment on Twitter. I will give you the link for that. No problem. Okay. Francisco Hernández, muchísimas gracias por tu respuesta. Sí, de nada, de nada. Julieta, un abrazo. La próxima japonés, así lo haremos. En japonés, en mandarín y en todos otros idiomas. So thank you very much. However, Discord maybe has also placed some questions. I really don't know. I just will check that. No. It looks like no. Okay. That's fine. So we are done. Thank you very much for watching, guys. And as usual, it was a big pleasure for me. Hopefully it was insightful for you. And next week, from after next week Friday, I will have vacation. And I will start to push and to make some changes, not only for Inspo Crypto, but also for Phoenicia. Many of you know that Phoenicia is going to be the community project of Inspo Crypto and George Beckwitz. We will provide educational stuff there. We will provide indicators. We will provide many great, awesome stuff there. It will take a little bit. We are working hard to realize the whole project, but I will have at least more time after next week Friday. So maybe then I will start again to provide some analysis in German and in Spanish again, because I will have the time, and bring some other stuff. So look forward for that. I look forward to have my vacations. Big love to you, all of you. Don't spend all the time front of the screen. Don't spend all the time just only trading, because money is not everything. Big love. Have a nice day. Bye bye. Your Inspo.